This is an age in which curiosity and resilience matter more than certainty.
If you look at American history, there's always a tension between Wall Street and Main Street.
It's very hard to anticipate what will happen in the future and pick people who will stay true to it.
The American economy has done wonderfully. I mean, if you take the 20th century, the Dow started at 66 and it ended at 11,400.
I'm just bullish on the U.S., and I think we should celebrate a little bit the fact that this country is coming back.
So I bought a lot of stock, and the stocks have gone up tremendously. I feel like such a genius every day, up, up, up.
If you believe that U.S. economic engagement is important in a volatile place in the world, then the U.S. has to show up.
BP welcomed the Paris Agreement, and for years now we've been determined to be part of the climate solution.
I would love to see NASDAQ continue to grow its role as being kind of the center of the financial markets.
If you're not investing in Israel, anyone here not investing in Israel? Invest in Israel. You should.
We're now 32 years old. We have about 800 plus members. We had about 400 about 10 years ago. The members are very important people in the Washington business community. We attract a good number of people to all of our events. We also do many other things I think are very valuable for the community. One, we give away money to the local community organizations. We're going to do that from the proceeds of this evening's event. Secondly, we have global events. We have a global perspective. So we are not just Washington, D.C. focused. We really are much more than that.
We have worked very hard to encourage a broad array of membership touching on every industry in the Washington metropolitan area. We've launched a global initiative beginning with the ambassadors who host events at their embassies. We take advantage of that relationship with the embassies and have invited and interviewed heads of state who are visiting Washington, D.C.
The one big advantage of Economic Club is the interviewer, the President David Rubenstein. My Prime Minister has done many events over here in Washington, D.C. Often it's usually people just finding the immediate news headline. With David, it was an opportunity to go more in depth, more into a deeper conversation. Several other leaders have spoken at the Economic Club. Each one goes beyond the headline. I think that's very useful and valuable for members of the Economic Club and valuable for ambassadors to allow their leaders to put across that perspective.
What has increased and deepened member experience has been the engagement with the embassies in Washington. For companies that are multinational companies, global companies, it has really added to the benefits that they see from the club of being able to have opportunities to engage with people outside of the Washington arena and to the larger global space. I get more and more people around town, business leaders around town saying, hey, how do I become a member of the club? And I think it's part of, you want to be in the room where it happens with the people that are making it happen. And that for me is what the club is.
This year, 2018, represents the 10th anniversary of the David Rubenstein Economic Club of Washington Scholarship Program. We have awarded some 442 scholarships totaling more than $5.4 million. I can't think of anything that is more inspirational than to watch the faces of our scholars, their families, their teachers, presidents of colleges show that appreciation for the investment that the Economic Club is making.
Having had to prepare two bosses for an interview with David, he can go anywhere and will. He wants people to walk away with something other than 50 minutes of entertainment. He wants to dive into that person. He wants to tell the story.
Our CEO spoke about 2 years ago now actually, and David Rubenstein, as we know, is fantastic about drawing out interesting tidbits about the different CEOs, and it helps to bring out their character and their personality and let CEOs kind of showcase who they are.
I couldn't believe I was being asked by David Rubenstein to be part of an executive conversation in front of all of these wonderful leaders here in Washington. So to have that stage and be able to talk about what we're doing was priceless.
I think we are, I would say, the envy of many economic clubs around the United States, but it's really due to the participation of people in the Washington business community. If they were not participating, they weren't involved, then obviously we wouldn't be successful.